Chocs and Chocettes in between, Roberto here for another video review. This time the Thorntons Pearls Hazelnut Delight. Yeah, so the second one in these Pearls range, and the first one I just reviewed before was the Salted Caramel Sensation. So this one doesn't appeal to me as much actually, but when I sort of had a quick peruse of the packaging before, it sounds a bit more interesting than you'd think. I'm not a massive fan of chopped hazelnuts, but I believe the truffle is just hazelnut flavoured and those pieces are actually biscuit pieces, so we'll see. So it's a smooth milk chocolate with a rich hazelnut centre. Does have sort of like, does give you the impression it's chopped hazelnuts, but yeah, let's have a look. What does it actually say? It says milk chocolates with hazelnut, 15% pride, and biscuit centre. So I'm very excited about it because I like those long-time viewers of the channel, or maybe even short-time viewers, will know that I do actually quite like biscuit centres in my chocolate. So this really does look up my street actually, because I don't mind sort of like, basically Nutella, that kind of thing, which is basically what this truffle centre will essentially taste like, I imagine, or roughly along those lines. So yeah, chopped hazelnuts not in. I can eat some chopped hazelnuts, and I don't mind them in some bars, but I think I definitely would prefer it, in this case at least, with a sort of biscuit centre. Alright, so what does it actually say there? Backed by a century of British chocolate making expertise, each bite into Thorntons Pearl reveals a delightful sense of taste and texture. Break through the milk chocolate shell to discover a deliciously indulgent praline filling enriched with roasted hazelnuts. I just say, well, yeah, perfect for sharing, making time together even more delightful. So it still does imply that you've got chopped hazelnuts in there, I would say, but let's see what's actually said there. Biscuit centre. The chocolate is made with 100% cocoa butter. Real chocolate says cocoa size 30% minimum, milk size 20% minimum. Ingredients: hazelnuts. It goes without saying, you'd say. Does it have palm oil in there? I think. Just like palm kernels. There you go. So it's, for all intents and purposes, palm oil, isn't it? Really. Nutrition per 100 grams, 561 calories. So that's well above the so regular most chocolates have fat between 500 and 550 calories. I'm sure the other pearls had below that threshold. Let's have a look. Yeah, 490. So these ones are a lot more calorific. 561 calories per 100 grams, 36 grams of fat, 20 which are saturates. I guess that's just the nut effect, perhaps. Good vegetarians. Yeah, and 167 gram. There. Alright, yeah, let's see anything else. It does have a false bottom, by the way. I like the shape of this, but false bottom, and obviously just sort of like, effect to make it look taller than it is really. It's only 167 grams, whereas if you compare this to the, let's see, Intrigues, 200 grams. It's a smaller box. So you can imagine the actual size of this box for what actually contains chocolates with this false bottom and things. It's probably about the same size as it's on this sort of slope here, you consider it. So yeah, alright, it looks reasonably nice. I think it looks, even as, I guess salted caramel tends to have these sort of blue colour, doesn't it, on the packaging. I quite like the look of this one. I think it looks quite nice, and they go quite well together, the blue and pink. It's two colours that do seem to go quite well together, isn't it? Alright, well, you can see as well that they're individually wrapped. We didn't mention that before, but you clearly see individually wrapped there and there as well. Spheres of goodness, well, hopefully anyway. Oh yeah, and lastly you can see they actually are made by Thorntons as well. So you can see UK Thorntons. As opposed to other Thorntons things you might see in the shops, usually sort of cake or biscuit related things, are actually made by Lightbody Ventures or Finsbury. I think Lightbody Ventures is a subsidiary of Finsbury, so yeah, there we go. So yes, I guess the non-chocolate products tend to be made by someone else, like the cake. So the same with Cadbury as well. It's not just Thorntons really. Cadbury don't make their own cake bars, for instance, like mini rolls and stuff. They're made by Burton's, I think. But yeah, alright, let's give these an open. See what they look like. Let's do it. Okay, everyone going to give these Thorntons Pearls Hazelnut Delight Chocs an open. Yeah, so I think the easiest way is at the top, really. Yeah, so there we go. Alright, so time recording, I've done about 920 reviews, believe it or not. So if you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, not done so already. In the top right corner, I've got a link to a place for more reviews, as well as some related ones, such as other Thorntons ones and maybe Hazelnut ones, maybe, who knows. So go check those out after you watch this one. Hopefully enjoy those too. Alright, so you can see they're individually wrapped. You can see it's quite to the top. And so we do have that sort of false bottom going on. So there we go. So I think we had 19 of the salted caramel ones. Salted caramel sensations, what they're called. So let's see how many we've got of these. Okay. See if it's about the same. Should be, you'd think, but you never know. I've seen it many times where they're not consistent. Yeah, well, but they are in this case. Could be a fluke. Not sure. Do have 19. 5, 10, 15, 19. Okay, there we go. Well, these will be nice as well. They look pretty good. Okay, quite like the addition of this metallic bit on the edge. It's not on the box outside. Not too bad. Let's move a few of them away. We can. Okay. All right. One needs an actual opening. Let's get into it. It's like a little pull tab. You can't quite see it very easy. You can see there's a little notch there. Focus is in there. You see that notch. So you can be trying to open them like this, and you don't really open very easily like that. They don't open. But sometimes but then you'll just sort of randomly try and open it, and it'll just open really easily. So just need that little pull tab or a little notch there. You can see there. It's got a. Usually have a little base to stand in where they've been filled in generally. It feels a bit greasy, this one actually. The ones didn't feel that greasy. You can see here clearly the salted caramel ones didn't feel greasy, but these ones do. Well, that one did anyway. You see the difference here in the packaging size. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? So imagine this was sort of filled to the top almost with them, but if they're all just like this, it would probably barely come up to the middle part. Imagine, there's one. Imagine 19 of them. I mean, 10 of them would probably just about fill the bottom. So it's pretty poor, isn't it? All right. Okay. Let's just have a open of another one. Just see if the other one feels a bit greasy as well. This one's it does have a bit of a greasy feel to it, really. Yeah, they do have a bit of a grease feel to them. The hazelnut praline just seeping through the chocolate, maybe. Right, let's give them a bit of a measurement. It's got the old calipers here. Okay. The height. About 2.3. Width at the centre. 2.4. And 2.5 there, so about 2.5 there actually seems to say. Yeah, between 2.45 and 2.5. Right on this one. 2.23. I think it was about the same as this, wasn't it? 2.3 roughly. Okay, alright, let's give one a chop. So it's like on the inside. Okay, that's a pretty good dissection there. Wanted a better word. Look at that, yeah. Not bad, you can see the little bits in there. Pretty full as well, full to the brim. I think when I did the salted caramel ones, they seem to be full, but it could have just been where the knife pushed the camera down. They don't really look too much like that. Don't really look too much like they do on the front, to be honest with you. It definitely looks more of a truffle rather than like a flowing cream of goodness. And you can see the well, I think are biscuit pieces anyway, don't really look too prominent either. But alright, I think we should give these a taste. That's what matters most, so let's do it. Let's lift myself up, give them a taste. Okay, everyone give these Thorntons Pearl's Hazelnut Delight a taste. So we would have seen what they look like, now we're going to see what they taste like. So we've got a whole one here, nice and ready. Got a little standy at the, well, got a little stand. Well, if it's bare, it's just been filled in basically. It does allow you to stand them up individually, so it's not bad. Don't roll all over the place. There's a greasy feel to these, as I mentioned before. Probably the hazelnut filling seeping through the chocolate, but let's see what it tastes like. Let's do it. Well, tastes like a very typical hazelnut truffle, actually. I thought maybe there might be something a bit different about these, but it's very, very typical. I mean, I've tasted this taste so many times before. And there's no real crunch either. It says it's got biscuit pieces in rather than actual chopped hazelnuts, which I thought it would have. I think you would definitely assume that was chopped hazelnuts there. Especially with the, but it does say it's biscuit pieces on the back. With a hazelnut 15% praline and biscuit centre. So, don't know. I feel that's a bit misleading perhaps. Just try another one. Let's try this half. Don't so. Liquefies in the mouth. I'm not getting any real crunch at all. No. Maybe just one bit then actually. But just literally just one crunch and holding 2 chocolates or 2.5. Have the other half. Yeah. You get basically a slight crunch every now and then, and it is a biscuit crunch, it's not a chopped hazelnut crunch. Yeah, these are quite... I mean, if you love hazelnut pralines, you know, you're going to be in luck here, but I've tasted this in so many times before, and all the chocolate selections I do, there's always a hazelnut praline, pretty much always, and this one doesn't taste any different than all the others, really. It's very typical, it's just a very liquidy praline centre with a, you know, a hazelnut taste, really. There's no way of saying it. The chocolate doesn't taste that interesting. It's not... And the salted caramel salted caramel sensation pearls that Thorntons do, the chocolate in that was quite, you know, it had a real crack to it when you bit into it. It was really sort of, you know, well, not hard, but you had a real snap, a real crack to it when you bit into it. This one, very soft, these ones. I think it's probably because the hazelnut pralines just permeated, I guess you'd say, if that's the right word, into the chocolate itself, and it's it does make it softer as well. And I feel if it was a harder chocolate, it might be a bit more interesting. So I don't know. I feel like it's just very... I don't know. They're okay. They're not horrible, these. I mean, don't forget, the average chocolate is basically a 3 out of 5. You know, and most chocolates are nice. These ones, I don't know. They're very average, basically. I feel like I've just tasted so many times before, so often. They're okay. You know what I mean? They're just okay. It's just a typical hazelnut truffle. But the problem with it, I find, is the fact that it's the centre. I think there's 2 problems here. Firstly, you know, you would expect that those bits in there, you look at that, chopped hazelnuts, that's what you think. You see, you've got hazelnut pieces here, it's Hazelnut Delight, chopped hazelnuts. Hazelnut centre, milk chocolate and rich hazelnut, nothing about biscuits. Even reading this blurb here, break through the milk chocolate shell to discover deliciously indulgent praline filling enriched with roasted hazelnuts. Roasted hazelnuts. It's only here, biscuit centre. Biscuit centre, where's that come from? Why is that there? I mean, for me, I prefer that because I'm not a massive fan of hazelnuts, basically. But I wouldn't be buying this, you know. I mean, people who buy this are going to be a fan of hazelnuts, aren't they? So I just feel like it's misleading it. But then the other problem, I said there's 2 problems. Firstly, so it doesn't have chopped hazelnuts in it, which you'd think it would do. And the second one is there's hardly any of those biscuit pieces. I hardly tasted any of it. You know, it's just so... I think I've got like 2 crunches in 2 of the chocolates, and it's really not acceptable, that, really. So you don't even get it anyway. Yeah, and the chocolates... You know, I don't know, it's made very soft by the hazelnut centre. It feels greasy as well because of the, as I say, the hazelnut centre coming through chocolate, which is why I think it makes it softer. I say the sea salt, whatever they're called, these ones here, yeah, the salted caramel sensation ones, they had a very harder chocolate on the outside. It was a real snap when you bit into it, which I thought was interesting and nice, but I think it would be better with these ones. But yeah, so as well, you don't really get much of a chocolate taste, or not really. You don't really, you know, it's just taste of the sort of hazelnut praline centre. Really, you don't really get to enjoy the chocolate that much. And I feel it's very strange, as I say, the centre as well does not contain chopped hazelnuts. So I don't know. I feel these are quite disappointing again, really. So yeah, so as I say, barely any sort of biscuit filling, and you'd expect that to be chopped hazelnuts. It tastes very typical, the filling as well. It tastes like all the other hazelnut pralines you'll ever taste ever. You know, lots of chocolate selections, which you might like, but for me, it's such a lazy filling, really, for me. I find it so boring. You know, I taste it so often in chocolate products. So, you know, again, like with any chocolate thing, if this is what you really love, then for you, obviously, it's going to be a 5 out of 5. But for me, having tasted this many times before, being quite underwhelmed with it, but the fact you can't really taste or discern, or there just aren't any sort of like crispy piece inside, chopped hazelnut or otherwise, biscuit piece in this case, I just feel like it's a real disappointment. And then again, the chocolate as well, because there's that greasy feel where the centre's basically seeped into the chocolate and made it really soft, unlike the salted caramel versions, which are quite hard and a bit more interesting. It just makes these ones even more meh, I would think you'd say. So for me, yeah, I think they're still nice, but I think they're just a 2.5 out of 5. Just underwhelming. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out YouTube Member Pro. Go to support the channel. Really is. Link for that's in the description, as is the link for the Discord server. Click on one of these links that's appearing on the screen now. It's great to support the channel as well by just increasing the view count. So please do that. Leave a comment for free. Always great to hear from you. Really is. And always do my best to reply. I say leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day also. I'll see you next time.